Hey, everyone. Just want to make a quick video. I'm not sure how quick this is going to be, honestly. I think this might take some time. This might be a longer video. I know it's whole Juneteenth, yada yada. Oh, funny Juneteenth stuff, haha. But I'm really not feeling funny stuff right now. I'm not sure if you've noticed, the daiymo's channel is basically gone. Deleted his Twitter. And, I've been messaging him the last couple of days, and I guess right right now at this point, the Big Baby podcast is canceled pretty much permanently. I guess never say never, but this is some bad shit we're in right now. I guess if you haven't been following what's going on, Matthew Vickers, Mr. Vickers, the father of Faith Vickers, doxxed and called up and harassed daiymo's mother and the rest of his family because daiymo got the diary of Faith Vickers. He acquired the diary of Faith Vickers, and so because of that, Matthew Vickers took it upon himself to dox and harass people who weren't involved with this whatsoever. Which I guess because Mr. Vickers is anti-Ralph, and because Mr. Vickers is he's like opposite Gunt, it's like, oh, he's not gunted, oh, he's not on the gun, oh, fuck the gun. We're all in hate Ethan Ralph mode, that we're somehow giving a pass to someone literally fucking trying to life ruination shit on someone, It's just, it's fucking it's just fucking shit, I know I'm biased because daiymo's my friend, and he is my friend, right? But, Vickers is, fucking falsely claiming that, this is a crime, what daiymo has done, and, is involving the police. It's fucking ironic because he's calling the police while arguably criminally harassing someone's family. Regardless of what daiymo did in any shape or form, there's just no justification to call his family at all. To, call and email and harass them and publicly, dox them. There's just no fucking... To not only publicly dox them, but publicly to threaten to release more information publicly. There's just no... There's no excuse. Your issues with daiymo, contact daiymo, deal with him. Involving someone's family in this shit is not okay. And I don't know what the legality of doxing is, but what he did is harassment for all intents and purposes. It would be the legal definition of harassment. So call the cops while committing a crime, but it's okay because it's Mr. Vickers, right? It's just fucking okay. But yeah, daiymo's my friend, so I'm biased. But I guess he was. I don't know. I guess daiymo was my friend. Because I don't think I'm gonna fucking ever hear from him again. He basically told me, he's gotta quit the internet, gotta leave, he's gotta fuck off because of this shit. He's concerned for his fucking family. And this is, the end of the Big Baby podcast. Because Matthew Vickers decided to dox and harass someone's family. I know the claim is that, he's got Faith's diary, and, it's illegal for him to have that. It's a crime, stolen property. First of all, I'm gonna clear the air right now on this shit. That's bullshit. For all intents and purposes, that's abandoned property, not stolen. Abandoned property. And the Vickers probably have a legitimate civil case against daiymo, but there's no way that you can strawman this into being a criminal case, especially when it's a diary, the value of which is approximately 50 cents of paper, right? I'm sure there's emotional involvement and emotional value, but even if we ascribe that, it's not enough to be classified as an actual criminal offense. It just isn't. It just isn't. This would be a civil case for all intents and purposes, a civil case. And it's not illegal for him to read it. Certainly, it's not like he's under an NDA where like he can't disclose the contents of what's inside it. If he wanted to, he could have. He could have at any point. It's just fucking bullshit. So, again, just using his status as like if this was any other individual right now doing this shit, we would be fucking pouncing and destroying this fucking dude. But because it's anti-Ethan Ralph, but because it's not, because it's someone who's in opposition to Ralph, we're giving them a fucking huge free pass on what's like genuinely evil shit behavior. And while we're on it, let's just fucking go right to the point. Let's just go right to this shit. Okay? With Vickers. Mr. Vickers, and I know he's probably upset because there's shit in the diary about him that he doesn't want to get out. That's probably why Mr. Vickers is so upset. You'll notice that Faith has posted very little about this and has done very little involved with this but her father is extremely worried and extremely upset about this and is doxing and calling the cops on people because not doxing and falsely and wrongly calling the cops on people because I don't know, probably because there's something he doesn't want getting out. Let's just fucking call it what it is. Probably some of the shit that he did to Faith when she was a kid, and probably continues to do that does not make him look very good. He doesn't want out there. But you can only speculate on that at this point because that well's done. But even if we don't have diary shit, let's take a fucking look at his behavior over the last couple of years since the fucking sex tape dropped and everything. I'm not gonna go here and go after Faith or Xander. I don't see a reason for me to. I think Faith might be legitimately like retarded. She seems to have the mental capacity of like a 13-year-old for all intents and purposes. So I don't, she did choose to have sex with Ethan Ralph, which may be like the dumbest decision anyone can ever make. But she probably is not in her right mind. Let's just call it what it is. Mr. Vickers, however, different fucking story. In a hypothetical scenario where, just imagine your daughter, right? Imagine your daughter has a revenge porn sex tape leaked out onto the internet. Imagine this happens, to you. It's not something not something that she, intentionally recorded porn of herself and leaked it. No, she was recorded against her will, leaked out onto the internet. You would be rightfully fucking upset and furious about this shit. You would. But you would also want to remove it and also remove her name and any association she has with either the person involved with it or, the creation of it. You wouldn't want anything you would want to take your daughter and take it away and remove her and make it so her name is not associated with what's going on at all. You would want to remove your daughter and protect your daughter as much as possible. What you would not want to do is basically spend every single day for the rest of your life saying the words revenge porn associated with your daughter, Faith. You would definitely not want to spend every single fucking day building a podcast career, building an internet e-fame fucking career out of the fact your daughter had a sex tape made of her and released against her will. You definitely not also want to associate yourself exclusively with fucking going after and, you'd want to go after the guy who did it, but you would definitely not want to exclusively associate her name for the rest of her life with the person who who this shit happened with, right? You definitely don't want, you want your daughter's name buried in this shit. You don't want your daughter's name being the first thing that fucking comes up besides the guy who's involved with it. Every second that Matthew Vickers has created a podcast of or talked about Ethan Ralph or done anything online, every single second he has spent online is an extra second of fucking trauma added on to this fucking experience for his daughter. In the end of time, what time will remember was that Ethan Ralph had a sex tape of his leaked out. And if Matthew Vickers did not exist, and if Matthew Vickers did not continue to fucking post shit about his daughter and about what's going on online all the time, that is all that would ever be associated with it. People would forget who's in it, people would forget that his daughter was involved, and people would forget Faith Vickers, and that would be the best thing for her. Because then There would be no name associated with it. She could move on and live a normal and happy life away from this. Because at the end of the day, people won't remember her part of this. People will remember that Ethan Ralph did this stupid thing. That's what people will remember in the end. But because Matthew Vickers has making the decision that he wants to build an internet personality career out of this, right? Now for the rest of time, people remember that it was not only Ethan Ralph's sex tape, but it was also Faith Vickers' sex tape. Faith Vickers, the daughter of Matthew Vickers. Faith has no internet presence, really. She's mostly quit. She's mostly trying to live a life raising her kid. But her fucking father keeps dragging her name back into this shit and reminding everyone that this happened. And you know what? It's not just me saying this. There's a excerpt of the diary where Faith basically said exactly what I just said about her dad. In perpetuity. And he's made the claim, oh, she wasn't in the right space. But she wasn't thinking right. She wasn't mentally well. She was, or she was with what's his face. She was with Ethan. Ethan was making her crazy. And yeah, he was. But the truth is, if you look at this from any sane perspective, Matthew Vickers is at this point, Matthew Vickers at this point has been as abusive to his daughter as Ethan Ralph was. He has caused as much trauma, he's leveled as much abuse, and he has fucking hurt his daughter as much as Ethan Ralph has. And frankly, much like Ethan Ralph, he's also a doxxer and a family harasser at this point too. So I guess, going way back to the start of all this, a lot of people questioned who would have sex with Ethan Ralph, who would do this with Ethan Ralph, who would fucking go, fuck the gun, who would do this to themselves? And the answer? Someone whose dad seems to be a lot like a less famous version of Ethan Ralph. When Faith fucked Ethan, she was fucking her father. Because she saw every single horrible thing, every single horrible personality trait, even the physical resemblance, every single aspect of her father was duplicated and amplified in Ethan Oliver Ralph. But Ralph was more famous and richer. So let that sink in, Matthew. As you sit after fucking, harassing and basically committing a crime against a fucking, internet samurai who was making fun of you on the internet, calling up the fucking mother and family who had nothing to do with this. As you sit in your life, I want you to think that as you rage against Ethan Ralph, you're raging at the fucking mirror image of yourself, except a more successful version of yourself. Fuck Matthew Vickers. Oh, fuck Mr. Vickers' wife too, the mom. She bought shit for Ethan Ralph, while she's in having they have a restraining order against each other, right? They both do, and that the mom of Faith bought some toys for Ralph's new daughter or some shit. I don't know what the fuck it was, but whatever the fucking case it was, that's fucking creepy as shit. That's not a normal thing people do with someone who they consider it's just bitter, internet fucking rage jealousy of this shit. That's all it is. If these were normal, functional, sane parents, they would want to keep their daughter as far away from this as possible, involve themselves only in the legal aspect of it, and not be involved at all in this person's life at all. You would want to distance yourself as much as you can, but instead, they just keep pushing their daughter back into it. They don't let her escape. They don't let the story die. They have to live off the fucking 5 minutes of internet fame that they got from it. But yeah, and I'm biased because, Daiymo's my friend, and I like him because he's a good friend of mine. Well, I guess he was now, but Mr. Vickers is not a good fucking person, and we have given him too many fucking passes as I guess I'm not really part of this community anymore because I'm just doing my own thing, but, you guys as a community have given him way too many fucking passes. Probably because he pays you. Probably because you're on his fucking bankroll. Frankly. Probably because he donates thousands to all your fucking streams or whatever. This does not mean, you should listen to what he has to say or condone his actions or associate with him in any way. Because he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of human trash. And You know, a lot of people try to take moral high grounds in this community, and I guess I'm taking one now. But frankly, none of us have a moral high ground, and I don't care anymore. You're a piece of shit. Quit fucking posting about how your daughter got fucked by Ethan Ralph online, and like live a normal life. Get off the internet. Also, your podcast sucks and is boring, and I think you also went after daiymo because you were fucking jealous of the fact that he was like doubling your view counts, restreaming you. Which, like, I know view counts don't matter, but like I can tell you were upset about that, so you used any fucking excuse you can get to fucking try and fuck his life over because you're a fucking piece of shit and you suck and you should leave the internet now. If you have any sense for what's good for you or your daughter or anything, you would leave and stop being a fucking e-celeb off of your. And I know you were laughing about. I saw you laughing about it on Twitter. On fucking. Oh, by the way, happy Father's Day. You know, to the worst fucking dad on the internet, and it's not Ethan Ralph. It's you. The worst father of all time. It's Matthew Vickers. Happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. And Big Baby Podcast never coming back. Probably, yeah, it's just never coming back. It's fucking over. So, thank you, fuck you, goodbye.